Hi there. I'm Amanda Nicole, and I thought I should take a moment to explain a little bit more about who I am and what I do in the world. So, I am called an herbalist. This is a label, a title that's been given to me by others that I have used for myself, but it really doesn't accurately describe who I am and what I do at this time. So I thought I'd unpack it a little bit so that when I offer classes or consultations, you can understand a little bit more of what you might be getting into. So when I think of an herbalist, I think of someone who works with plants as medicine. So they'll harvest plants and they'll gather them and they'll make teas and tinctures and balms and salves and then offer them to others, whether it's their family, their community, clients, as medicine for well being, for the whole person. I do often, though, think of herbalists as working primarily with the body, but also they work with the spirit, the mind and the emotions. So that's how I began. I began as an herbalist that gathered plant medicine and dug roots and put leaves and flowers into my basket, put together tinctures and teas, and then offered them to friends, family, people in my community for them to find support and allies for their bodies primarily so that they could feel and be well. But that sort of evolved. And it's continuing to evolve. It's continuing to change and to shift. So this video is most certainly for this moment. There's probably going to be much more changing and growing as I go forward. So at this time, I work primarily with what I call plant spirit medicine. And so what might be most familiar to some of you when I say that is the idea of flower essences, or if you think of color or music or vibration or frequency. So I don't find myself offering people as often as I used to tinctures and teas where the actual physical matter of the plant is there. Instead, I find myself offering flower essences, which is a vibrational medicine. There's actually no physical plant matter in the flower essence. Or sometimes I will just recommend that people sit with a certain plant or grow it or look at a picture of it or bring it into their space in whatever way they're able to bring it in and work with what I call the spirit of the plant or the vibration or the frequency of the plant. This is where I feel most drawn and called to. Because as I was teaching classes and offering consultations, I found that most of our physical difficulties, as some of you are probably already very aware, are rooted in imbalances in our emotional and spiritual states, our mental states, our vibrations, our frequencies. Everything is energy. Everything is touching, ripple effects at all times. So this is where I wanted to offer the medicine because it seemed to me that it was the root of the difficulty that most people were experiencing. So this is where my path led me, was to this place, working more with the spirit of the plant, the vibration, the frequency of the plant, rather than the actual physical part of the plant. But then what I found is that I didn't only want to offer flower essences to people or a tincture or a tea, but I wanted them to learn how to tap into that energy themselves. And so in my classes, whether they're in person or online, my desire is to foster a relationship with the natural world, with the plants, but also the rocks, the land, the rivers, the streams, the sky, the clouds, animals, with nature, really, to tap into that. Because what I found is that what I was doing, which was simply going outside, opening up my heart space and listening with my heart, seeing what images, memories, words, ideas, messages would come to me is something that is not only an activity that I can participate in, but it's something that all of us can participate in. All of us. All of us are spiritual beings. All of us have frequency and vibration and energy and spirit. And so all of us have the ability to interact with the world in this way. So in my classes, I will often offer a plant. So maybe I'll pass a tincture, a tea, a flower essence. Maybe I'll just have us sit with a certain tree or a certain plant. And then I encourage the students, the attendees, to simply open up your heart and listen. And then after a few moments, I invite everyone to share. What did you hear? What did you receive? What did you smell? What did you notice? What did you feel? And it's really so lovely because every single time, each person has their own individual story, images, and messages, but you'll hear a theme throughout it because, for instance, the violet flower is the violet flower. Violet has its medicine. Violet is who she is, who he is, who they are. But a little particular sort of medicine is offered to each person. That's the best way that they can understand it and the best way they can bring it into their own spirit, their own heart, their own life for furthering wholeness and well-being. So then what I decided I wanted to communicate in my classes and hopefully also in consultations is that this is a sacred act. This is a sacred spiritual act, and that really what we're connecting with in those moments is not simply our own hearts, though we are, or simply the spirit or vibration of Rose, though we are, but to go deeper and to know that in those moments we are connecting with the divine. We are connecting with God, with spirit in those moments. Those are sacred moments of communication and communion with Source, with God. I just even like taking a moment just to think about it. So in some of my most difficult moments and seasons, I find myself going outside to sit and to listen, to close my eyes, to take a deep breath, and then to feel the breeze, feel the sun, listen to the insects and the sounds that they make, feel the earth beneath me, notice the plants that might be sitting near me, and then just receive whatever comfort or medicine or messages are given. So for me, this is a form of prayer. It's not the only way that I pray, but it is a form of prayer. An opening, a giving, and then a receiving of what's given in return. And I do believe that God, the divine, is everywhere at all times, moving through all things, present, that each of us and everything that we see, everything that's around us is an emanation, an embodiment of the divine, that the world is God-breathed. The world is the breath of the divine, the breath of God in physical form, the heart wishes, the beautiful imaginations, the desires of the divine in physical form, in matter. And so if I'm able to be still and to be quiet and to listen, I can at any moment tap into spirit, into the sacred. And there is so much medicine there. And that's medicine that goes to the very, very deepest part of me. Sometimes I will see like a little tiny, teeny pinprick point of light that was the very beginning of all things and the very beginning of me. and to tap into that place, there is a great deal of medicine there and of wisdom. So the plants are the primary means through which I work. And then from there, I move out to land, to rocks, to water, to sky, to animals, to the rest of the world. But the plants are a centering place for me, a place where I find sort of grounding and rooting, and a very accessible way to offer medicine to the world, a very accessible way to introduce people to the medicine that is all around them, to the sacredness of everything that is all around us, to spirit that is all around us. And I think that this is what we most need. Even if there are various layers where we're struggling emotionally, spiritually, physically, at the root of it, we're really just needing to return home. We're really just needing to remember who we are and where we came from. We're really simply needing to remember that we are loved, we were created in love, we are held in love, that the beginning and end of all things is a universal, eternal love that we call God or Spirit or Source. And this is where I think that we're needing to return. And so often what I find is with myself and with clients or students or people who attend, workshops or other gatherings, is that when they're able to connect in that way, a lot of their physical difficulties begin to resolve. And they also begin to make shifts emotionally and spiritually. There are changes. There's a greater movement towards wholeness and wellness. But what I've also found is that even when certain things physically are difficult, or emotionally or spiritually or mentally things are difficult, the fact that they've been able to remember who they are and where they came from, the fact that they've been able to connect with the divine, with Source, with Spirit, and that they are able to tap into that place at any time and experience truly and really and tangibly, sensibly that connection. It helps them go forward. It helps them keep moving because we are here. We are on earth. We are in this 3D realm of matter and form, this material world. And we're needing to remember that we are our bodies fully, but we are also more than our bodies. And so this idea of heaven and earth coming together in us, of the human and the divine coming together in us, seems extremely important and necessary for our well-being. So this is what I desire to offer. This is what I desire to experience in my own person, in my life. This is what I offer in classes as I talk about chicory or dandelion root or the tulip poplar tree, which is one of my favorites, or rose or blueberry or plantain or chamomile, or if I talk about bear medicine or wolf medicine or eagle or dove medicine or fox medicine, panther, or if we sit by a stream, a river, or a lake, or if we work with crystals and rocks, whatever we're doing, the end goal is to connect back to the Creator, to the divine source, to the origin of all things, and to remember that we are never alone but always connected, and that we are blessed to have all of these physical, tangible, sensible reminders all around us of who we are. And then what's so lovely, a last thing that I love about when that happens, is that when someone remembers who they are and where they came from, then they also begin to more fully embody that. And so I love it in classes and other places, maybe people that listen to podcasts, or maybe there's a workshop or a consultation where someone taps in to who they are and their particular manifestation of God, of the divine in this world. And then they begin to manifest it through whatever way that's meant to be. Perhaps it's painting or singing or a certain job or work that they want to do or something they want to create or build or a way they want to dress or something they have to say or a relationship they'd like to pursue or a place they'd like to live, but suddenly they understand more who they are, where they came from, and so why they are here, and are more fully able to embody that and to walk it out, walk their path. That's Lady Slipper is a lovely plant for that, and to fulfill their purpose, which is really what is so needed. The world needs all of us, each and every one, remembering who we are, where we came from, and why we're here, so that we can fully embody the manifestation, the emanation, the illumination, the imagination of the divine that's meant to be us. Give the divine aspect that is us a physical form and a physical expression. And so what I see then is that the world is suddenly full of all of these beautifully expressed aspects of the divine coming together as one in a beautiful harmony so that things can be different than what they are. I have in my mind an idea of a new earth, a new way of being where all of us have remembered, and so all of us are embodying that remembering, and all of us are expressing and letting the divine flow through us freely so that that aspect of the divine can be offered to others. So I have to say at this moment, I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to articulate and explain that the way that I did, because it's a little difficult for me at times, but it's a beginning. It's a beginning to share what I do and who I am and what I offer through my classes and consultations. And so I would love for you to come and be a part of them. I would love to sort of take a key and unlock a door so that you can remember and begin to embody and express and begin to know that you are always held in love, a part of love, made of love, in love, literally. We are in love at all times. Okay, thank you so much for listening. And I would love to hear from you. If you have questions or if you have comments, then you are free to contact me through my website, www.alchemillas.com, or you can send me an email, alchemillas@gmail.com. I'll just put those things below the video so you can contact me. Okay then. Bye for now.